All right, guys, we're still on the excavator project. I need to get this pin welded up and turned down, or throw it on the ground. But I got a problem. The project's been hanging out for a long time. I've got this old 4-jaw chuck, and I got a backing plate. I need to put that 4-jaw on. And I've got this old 6-jaw chuck that came with the lathe. It is not true. It doesn't run true with the spindle for some reason. It's about 10 or 15 thou out of center when you clamp something up in it. Always been that way. Since I bought the lathe, I've not been able to get that figured out. And if I'm turning something fresh that I don't need to center up, I can just cut a new center into it. It's not a big deal. But I've indexed this thing around a couple times on the spindle. It's got a 0 mark on it right there. I don't know if that'll show on camera or not. It's kind of dark in here. Good grief, that thing is heavy. I took it off by hand. And then this collar that it attaches to on the spindle has also got a 0. I've tried it there. That's probably the best, but it's still not right. So I'm gonna have to pull off this shaft project. We're gonna get the rotary table out, set it up on this mill, try to get that chuck there indicated in on the table, then put that on top of it, indicate that in, and we're gonna drill and tap some holes. And we're gonna try to see if we can't make this thing functional. Might as well try and capture the good stuff before I blow out my back. Trying to manhandle this table around. Oh my gosh. There was nothing. Fall and bust my ass with this thing on top of me. My goodness. Well, fall down to the ground. That didn't work. That's crap. I was hoping that barrel stand would work because it sits up taller, but just not balanced good enough. The old regular hand truck. Too much stuff in here. From one heavy thing to another. These aren't that bad. Not light by any means, but not that bad. Let me clean the table up. Here goes the pain. My goodness. I think the last time I used this table was the surface of a brake rotor. Wicked heavy, wicked heavy. Gonna be a tight fit. I think we'll have to get rid of that though. bottom. Always want to work with a good clean table. Alright, I need to change my chamfer a little bit. This tool post cross slide is a kind of it's got some play in it. I need to try to take that out too. Hopefully that's good enough. So we'll go ahead and show unhooking this thing too. Not too bad. Okay, 3 pins. Let's see. Hung. Feet are hung on everything. Good fit, but not quite right still. Alright guys, getting low on memory card storage here, but I did get a nice, pretty tight fit right here. Oh my goodness. So you'll notice there's this recess on this chuck. There's a chamfer on the face of this plate, and they go together. Just sort of easily taking little off by little. They go together. There may be 5 thou play right there, but I like that. That's a good fit. We'll get them indicated in. I'll put a drill bit up in here, go find a tap and see what we can figure out. Alright guys, I don't know if I can get you any closer to the indicator, but I'll sort of show you. I've got this indicator set up. Table's centered up on the mill, on the cross and the inward travel. And then I've got this centered up and locked in at 0, 2, so I'm just spinning it around to make sure I've got this plate indicated in at pretty well 0. Which I'm a couple ticks off 0 here, but everything's pretty well running true. So you can basically see that needle never really moved. So I'm within a thou or 2 of being indicated in, tightened everything down already. So we'll give her one more little snug. Sort of watch the indicator. Make sure it doesn't move. All right, we are locked down. That took me about 30 minutes to indicate that in, or longer. A little bit of a pain in the butt. Let's fire up this big old phase converter. This switch kicks a big relay in here, and there's a couple big fuses in there. And then it's also fused over here to the main. 3-phase. Alright, so it came out 3.4 inches. I'm going to use this as my center. Up over here. Okay, so I don't want to drill into my table, so I've got it sitting, the bit sitting just above my hole. And let's see here. So I went an inch. I measured the thickness. It's about 1.35 thick. So every rotation of this 50 thousandths. So I've already gone 1.3. There's my 50. So 1,350 down. That ought to be right to the bottom. Now as I take this down, this will stop me from drilling through my table. Then we'll swap to a bigger bit before we tap. Okay, to recess the bolt head, I need to go down about 450 thou. Yeah, pull that off there. close. So maybe I'll make my hole bigger. And then this thing is actually my calipers. Across the peaks, we are 1 inch and 60 thousandths. And this is a 3/4 end mill. So I need something bigger. Try this big cutter. It won't actually cut. Oh crap. Alright, had to basically go with the boring bar setup. Or boring setup. We'll ease our way down in. Let's see. fits, but we still got to get a socket over it. Still got to go bigger. Wide enough. Alright guys, ran out of memory card, so I did get cut a little short last night. But let's see if we can't stick this caliper in here and see what we ended up getting faced or bored out. Let's see, we'll get a rough estimate at least. Won't be great, but better than nothing. I'm about to put the camera down for a second, maybe. Kind of aggravating when you can't get stuff out of the way. So let's see here. Yeah, we're about 3/10 probably. Let's see. Yeah, we're pretty close. If anything, I can take the top of the head off that bolt, especially these numbers and letters, and get it down flush. And we will look to do that on all of them. So now we've got to pop this. I've got my big clearance drill. I ended up buying a 21/32. This would also tap for a 3/4, or be the drill for a 3/4 tap. And I bought my 17/32, which is the drill for my 5/8 tap. There's 2 down, 1 to go. I maybe loaded this one up. I swear I saw this plate move just a fudge, but it's probably close enough for what we're doing still, because I'm still about, when I ended up, I'm still about as evenly thin walled on this ID on both of them. And that ID is good and machined, so we can actually check it and sort of see how good we're doing. And that one there is about 35, give or take. It's kind of hard to get this thing in here. And that one's got a little taper to it. I wonder if this one has taper to it as well. Yeah, they both got a little taper to them, but they look pretty consistent. So, guys, I hate to do it, but I've got to shorten a drill bit because I am full up. Can't go any higher. Table won't go any lower. My rotary's set up as short as I can make it. And this chuck's got big holes in it. I was hoping I could get this bit to go up high enough, but we just won't quite clear. This bit's the same length as this new tap bit I bought, so I'm actually going to shorten this thing. I hate modifying stuff, but I got to. We'll see if that trimmed enough off. Shorten it up a bit. Don't look bad. There we go. That will just work. It's already completed my plate. I still need to finish. Got one hole all the way through. It landed right on a T-slot. And then I've got these other 2 I need to drill out. They're almost all the way through, but not quite. I'm not going to show much on this till I get to tapping, because hopefully I won't break the tap. I had to move the table over to hit this hole so I could get this bit even in here. So. And I had to move my rotary as well. So I'm going to lock this thing in and get my table back where it's supposed to be. Alright, we should be back. looks good. About a quarter. About an inch and a half down. So we get our tap set up. Ah, this is fun. Alright, see how this goes. Running true. Tighten her down. We'll leave it at that. Okay, I did have this old center drill. Alright, I was able to stumble across a couple more taps here that my grandpa used to have. And that's a heck of a lot better. They could probably stand to be a little sharper themselves, but I think they'll get the job done. Alright guys, these first, all three of them are done. These first two went real well. This last one about got bad. I couldn't have got any closer to that thing if I'd have wanted to. I sort of figured if I started dead center between these two, I figured I would end up close to these down here on the corner. Maybe I would have been wrong. If I'd have started about here, that one would have ended up close. I probably could have moved this one about a bolt hole width. That would have got a bolt hole width closer, and that would have got a bolt hole width farther. I kind of just guessed on my placement, sort of rough eyeballed it, and that about bit me. I got that thing real thin walled, but it drilled and tapped. I couldn't get it quite as deep. That one's the deepest. That one I went about 1.5 inches. The tap was close to bottoming out. I took that one about another 1/8 deeper. I couldn't take this one 1/8 deeper because I'm actually about to run into this screw here. But I did just still get my 1.5 inches, so we're still good to go on that. And let's get our bolts threaded in, double check, and go from there. All right. I did thread this bolt into all the other holes. It is pretty well good to go. Although she's a little tight in this one. Might have to run that chaser tap one more time. Yep, why's that? Okay, they all screwed in pretty good there. Actually, I think this bolt here is just from running it in those first couple holes, it might have sort of aggravated the threads a little bit because it didn't seem to want to go in any, but these two that I haven't put in any holes, they went in real easy. So that is that. I actually think, see, I got real close right there. I actually believe I'm gonna see if I can get this chuck out and then put my facing attachment on and see if I can't face these bolts to height as well while they're sitting here in this chuck. We'll see how that works. Try this a couple different ways. Could be running the spindle a little faster probably, but and not all the bolts are at the same height. Ah, crap. Too close. Good thing I got that on camera. Did I break any teeth? Might have broke one. Shove that. I broke a couple. Well, let's see how she do with just a few teeth. Can't believe that. My eyeballs deceive me. One or two teeth left on this thing. Alright guys, and this is what happens when you rush into the cut too fast. Chip tooth, chip tooth, chip tooth. One survived, so we made those last two cuts on only one. So chipped 4 of my 5 teeth. That's being a novice. Alright guys, some of the part of breaking that cutter too is when this thing really gets loaded up. This table is not the tightest thing in the world. So I've probably got about a thou, maybe 3/4 of a thou just in rotational twist, which I can take that out by tightening the table down. And I was doing that. Still a little bit there. This tightening bolt doesn't work great. It definitely makes it harder. I think it just tightens down on the screw. It doesn't really tighten the table up. And then even with these tighten down for the, because this table slides in and out like this. There's some looseness in that screw as well. It doesn't have a way to tighten it up, but the table has a good bit of side-to-side play. Couple thou, and maybe half a thou or a thou that way. So machining doesn't like things that aren't rigid. That vibration and bounce is real hard on cutters. Granted, I ran that cutter in too fast, but it still doesn't help that this thing is wobbly, and you could probably see that in the video with the single point counter boring. So we'll just have to see on that one. See if we can't get this chuck over here and get her manually set up on this thing. I'm going to do a final wipe down. On the spindle face. Especially this tapered joint right there. Machine surfaces like to be really clean, or machine tools like to be really clean. And it's hard to do in this shop, is to keep things clean. Oh, here comes a hernia. Yeah, this is where an overhead crane would be real nice. Get up there. Yeah, fall down, sucker. Let's see, got a couple blocks in here. Hoping one of them is about right sized. To pad this thing up high enough. Man, that 2x4 is just about perfect. So we will slide her over. Just a fudge short. There we go. There's a neutral around here somewhere. There we go. Yep, that's a loose hole. And that's a tight hole. Only got 3 holding this chuck, but we'll tighten that one again. I don't want this thing to fall off. That thing looks like it runs real true. Oops, hit the camera. Let me get set up and we'll check it. All right, I think you guys can see that. Let's see. See if we can't actually set her on 0. There we go. Miss 0. So there we're -4. Up to about maybe. There's 1. There's 2. +2. It's about 6 thou run out total. Not bad. The other chuck was running around 15 to 20, I think. So we've cut it in half. And then when I've got stuff chucked in the spindle with the 4-jaw, you can take all that out. So this one's adjustable. Let's set up on the adapter itself and see what we've got. Let's see. There we go. Nope. Yep, I hate the way that indicator does that. So the adapter is running within about 1 thou. So I've got a little bit of positioning error here. I could maybe take this off and adjust on it a little bit. I might do that still. I haven't decided. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's take her up a little faster. Let's see, I think 1580 is the top. That's moving for a big chuck. That's got some load on the lathe. Let's drop her down to about half that speed. There is something in the gear train of this lathe that makes that skipping sound. I don't like it. Alright. Now I tend to run it a good bit slower than that. So we'll go down half again. That's about the speed I'll typically run on a lot of my cuts. I tend just not to run this thing crazy fast. I could probably run it faster for most cuts. Alright, that's that. The lathe chuck is done. I've been wanting to get that done for a long time. So guys, we finally have it finished up. I got the jaws put in, the chuck. That was a bit of an ordeal. Ended up taking this thing back off. And on the back, there's some cylinders that have a sort of a C shape cut in that holds this. It's sort of what this thing sits into, where the The main lead screw for the jaw doesn't move. It stays in one place. I had one of them sticking out too far because I'd been messing around with them. So that caused me a bunch of aggravation. When I finally am done with it, I haven't trued this in. I still need to weld this shaft up. I just clamped it up to see how it was working. The run out is better. It's down to 4 thousandths total now. 1,000 on this, 4 on this. And I'm glad to be done with it. This thing has been sitting in the floor for almost 2 years, staring at me every time I walk through the door, just collecting rust. So now we finally got it up ready to use, and hopefully we'll see some video of that later. I hope you guys enjoyed up to this point. Just wrapped up on the lathe, Chuck. Just looking around. Man, this place is a disaster area. Stuff everywhere. Needs a cleaning, something awful. There's still tools laying on the ground there. Saws there. Stuff for the roller laying there. That mill's collecting stuff. There's just stuff everywhere lately. The shop's absolutely full of projects. It'll take me a couple days to clean this place up. And it needs it. Toolbox is full again. I had this thing cleaned off pretty good the other day. I almost called the channel Project Overload because that's what it feels like sometimes. I am just overloaded with projects and stuff to do. But I guess that's what I enjoy because I keep doing it. So hope you guys enjoy.